All right, so I just did a video discussing what was recently put out, which is that they're going to start using this program to do pre-crime, right? So basically this idea, this Minority Report idea that they would use AI to determine what the attack or assassination or whatever is going to be. And then after they do that, you would imagine they're going to find out who is going to do it, and that maybe they'll go stop that person from doing it, right? That would be the logical thing you would imagine a program like that would be used for. But when I look at something like that, I'm going to consider all the nefarious ways it could be used, right? Because we would have to just completely ignore that some political parties and governments use terror attacks to have a political outcome, right? So if they knew attack was going to happen, would they actually want to stop that attack? Or would they look at the results of what if that attack was allowed to occur? What if that assassination was allowed to occur? How would that possibly benefit the party or benefit the state, right? How could that be a good thing if that was allowed to occur, okay? So, another aspect of that, and what I discussed in my previous videos is that there's always going to be more than one faction. So if the other side of whatever it is, a party or a country or whatever, sees that attack coming too, and they're saying, oh, that's going to be a really horrible thing for us, then they would want to try to stop that attack. So it'd be a pre-crime war between different factions to try to either facilitate an attack happen or to stop the attack from happen, because one would want the political benefit and one would want that disaster on the way not to happen, okay? Another part of this I was looking at would be, okay, let's say one way they're trying to obscure who would be doing the attack, if they already knew that from their pre-crime who's going to do the attack, would be to have decoys going that way that might fit the same profile as the person they expect to commit whatever attack, okay? So that would be the faction that wanted the attack to happen, sending decoys, okay? Now we can take it a step further of maybe they're not sending random decoys into the way of being in the wrong place at the wrong time or the right place at the right time, okay? To make it appear that they're there to do something nefarious and throw off the faction that doesn't want that attack to happen, okay? They could maybe, because what happens to those people that are thrown into that situation? Maybe they're encouraged to go to some fair or some social event or whatever where they know something's going to happen because of all the chatter and everything their AI is telling them, okay? So they would encourage those people, maybe if we look at the Charlie Kirk thing, they would encourage people that maybe hate him and have made statements online that they want to do something or whatever. All these different factors that would make them prime suspects, okay? And they would be encouraged to be in that vicinity, okay? So let's say a political party or faction or nation didn't like somebody because they're saying things that are incredibly damaging to them, right? They're outing them, okay? And maybe they wanted to shut that person up. But if they assassinated that person, then everyone would be like, oh my God, why are they killing that person? And what things had they said? Like, why would they be assassinated? And then everyone be combing through everything they said and all those things that they didn't want that to come out, right, about that person and what they've been saying. They didn't want that to blow up or get big. That thing would happen, right? So who are we not supposed to listen to? We're not supposed to listen to anyone that's categorized as a terrorist, okay? And it's not really working anymore when they say, oh, that person's a terrorist, because it's overused. Nobody listens to that anymore. Everyone knows that's bullshit when they try to label people as terrorists, okay? But what they could do is they already know attack's going to occur. They can already, who knows, they might also know when it's going to occur, or they might be able to prompt it somehow, or maybe they're part of it. But whatever it is, if they had those people that are saying those things that they don't want other people to know about, what better way than to have them be suspects in some kind of attack, right? Lead them into the wrong place at the right time or whatever, and looking to fit the profile that they hate this one or whatever. And then they could credibly say, this one's a terrorist, and look at this attack, this horrible attack they did. Even if they didn't do it, because we're talking about they were accused of attack, okay? Because of they fit the profile pre-crime thing, okay? Why were they there? Okay, so now we come to the point where what are the things that they've been saying? What are their motives? Oh, the public can't know about that because we can't let terrorists win by reading what they've put out there in their manifestos, or by listening to their videos or whatever. That has to be covered up because it would be the terrorists winning if this person managed to get tricked into being into the wrong place at the wrong time, looking like a suspect, whatever. Then they could very effectively shut that person up, everything they've said, just by saying, look, they were there to commit a terror attack, whether they were or not. All right. So that's another way I would see this pre-crime technology of determining attacks before they happen, and this whole battle back and forth of the people trying to stop the attacks and the people trying to facilitate the attacks. Whatever is scheduled. I'm going to say scheduled because if they're not going to straight stop it when they find out it's going to happen, then they're pretty much part of it. And how they can use that to basically maneuver politically and, use people as pawns basically in their political agendas and try to shut people up. So that's another thing we need to be cognizant of, that's the type of shit we can expect from them using this kind of technology. And I'll probably have to do another video on how do we protect ourselves from this kind of bullshit if we feel like we're being led down a certain path or whatever. But, just knowing that that's a possibility is, part of it. Because then we can decide, do we really want to protect ourselves from listening to, reading all the material of whoever they're labeling as a terrorist because they were in that wrong place at the wrong time, that they already knew there was going to be an attack and did nothing about?